So let's talk about council rates in New Zealand, shall we? Now they just keep going up and up and up and up, and the rises are getting out of control. I think everyone can agree with that. Now just how out of control these rate rises are seems to vary massively over each different area. And sometimes there seems to be no rhyme or reason for the excessive cost blowouts. Now I found a good website that shows how much each council was planning to raise rates for the 2024-25 period. The website was created by the Taxpayers Union and I've added a link in the description. So it's well worth going over and taking a look, and let's hope that they do the same thing for this year's rate rises. It is so good to get all that data in one place. Now I have to say it is an absolute disgrace how much some of the councils have been increasing their rates in New Zealand. How can Kiwis afford these never-ending rate increases? And how are people on fixed income supposed to keep up with rates that keep on rising far in excess of the inflation rate? And that's year after year after year after year. So I've decided to pick out the 10 highest price hikes from 2024 and 2025 and see what their 2025-2026 rate hikes are likely going to be. Now these rates will come into effect on July the 1st, 2025, so only a couple of months away now. So let's have a look on this map and see the 10 highest rate increases from 2024-2025 shown in blue, with their 2025-2026 currently proposed increases shown in red. So these percentages in blue actually captured the proposed increases. So they may have changed as the Taxpayers Union site was completed before the finalised date of July the 1st, 2024. And if that is the case and any of these values change, please let me know in the comments. Now the latest values in red for 2025-2026 may change also before they take effect on July the 1st, 2025, as most councils are still reviewing them. So if you want to complain about the latest unjustifiable rises, then you better be quick and attend the hearing or voice your opinion some other way. So let's have a look through them. You've got West Coast Regional Council. Now the proposed for 2024 was 27%. Now the proposed for 2025 is 12%. So then you got Gore District Council. The proposed for 2024 was 21.4%. And the proposed for 2025 is 9.9%. Then you got Greater Wellington Regional Council. The proposed for 2024 was 20.55%. And the proposed for 2025 is 9.72%. Then you got Central Hawke's Bay District Council. The proposed for 2024 was 20%. And the proposed for 2025 is 7.9%. Then you got Napier City Council. The proposed for 2024 was 19.95%. Then you got the proposed for 2025 is 7.9%. Then you got Upper Hutt City Council. Now the proposed for 2024 was 19.93%. And the proposed for 2025 is 12.8%. Then you got Wairoa District Council. The proposed for 2024 was 19.5%. And now you got the proposed for 2025 is 15.54%. Then you got Hastings District Council. The proposed for 2024 was 19%. Then you got the proposed for 2025 is 15%. Then you got Westland District Council. The proposed for 2024 was 18.64%. And the proposed for 2025 is 12.9%. Then you got the Central Otago District Council. The proposed for 2024 was 18.3%. And the proposed for 2025 is 13.01%. Now I've added all the links in the description for where I got all the latest information from. If you have any updated values, it would be great if you could add them in the comments for others to see. Now, having read through a lot of the council's reasons for the rate rises, it is apparent that most of them actually admit to needing more funding than they're actually asking for, but they're only doing small rises, so-called small rises this year, to take some pressure off ratepayers. Now that's some strange pressure off, don't you think? Look at them values. But if you think about it, this does not bode well for the future, does it? I mean, if they're only doing small rate rises this year, what's coming next year and the year after and the year after? Now it is incredible that after last year's mega heights, these councils are still wanting rate rises much higher than inflation, which is currently only sitting at 2.5%. Now these rises are brutal for the average person, and some people would just not be able to afford to pay these rates anymore. Councils have been raising rates above inflation for years now, and enough is enough. Councils need to be forced to peg increases to inflation from now on. They're going to have to start being more careful with other people's money. If they need more money, they're going to have to find it elsewhere, or do without it because ratepayers are tapped out. Now I do have to admit, there are a lot of councillors around the country who do really good work, and many of the small councillors are not paid particularly well. But some councils obviously pay too much for people who offer absolutely nothing. Now people who are just in it for the ego boost as opposed to wanting to actually help their community. And if a council team cannot balance the books, then perhaps give other people a chance who can. Or if this is not possible, it may be worth considering merging smaller councils if it can bring costs down. The status quo is absolutely not working. But you know what? I think I know what the ultimate answer is, and I think realistically it's the only way forward. I've got an answer that will stop the rate increases for the many and at the same time bring back some long lost fairness to New Zealand. So all that needs to be done is to put a freeze on rent rises across the country, and then put a 100% rates levy on any properties that are not owner occupied. Now that will mean landlords, ghost homes and Airbnbs will have to pay more, just like they should. And if they don't want to carry the burden of this extra cost, all they have to do is sell up and put another home on the market so a young Kiwi family can finally have a chance at home ownership in their country. I mean, is that really too much to ask for? Now before I go though, I would actually like you all to spare a thought to all those property investors who targeted these smaller regions. All they were doing was hoping to get a quick buck. I know they didn't care about doing forcing locals into a lifetime of renting, but that's not their problem. Even without the extra rates levy that they all deserve, and hopefully they will get. As rent prices start dropping across the country and rentals sit empty for longer, this will be a big cost to these poor investors, you know. It may even turn out that other less socially destructive investing options were better after all. But I doubt they'll ever learn. You know, the ego boost of being called a landlord is just too much for some of them to give up. So if you have heard of any much higher rate rises than these crazy ones that I've already listed, there's some nutty council out there that's trying to get through before July 2025, then let me know in the comments please. And if you found this video okay, maybe give me a like and subscribe. Cheers for that. See you in the next one.